Democracy is a wonderful invention, but it doesn't scale with mass. Once everyone is recklessly invited in, it's taken for granted and collapses under the weight of overdue accountability. 俺は Shinichiro Kuroda. I have witnessed power change hands since the first man learned to burn his stake with it. Pay your devotion with your participation. I have lived long enough to watch democracy be born in a marketplace, work in a city, strain in a nation, and fail quietly inside systems too large to feel the people they claim to serve. Democracy did not begin as an abstract ideal. It began as proximity. In the earliest democracies, people spoke where they lived. They voted among those they would face the next morning. Power worked because responsibility actually had a face. Once the scale increased, something changed. Not morally, not mechanically. Every system has a critical mass. Stars collapse when they grow too heavy. Bridges fail when one step too many crosses them. Trees do not grow forever. Gravity ends the fantasy. Democracy obeys the same law. Past a certain size, participation becomes more symbolic. Yet you still vote, you still argue, and you still feel righteous somehow. Real power migrates quietly elsewhere. Into institutions that cannot hear any nuance. Into bureaucracies, into systems where no one is personally accountable anymore. It's not even corruption, it's just the skill. And here is the part people avoid. There is no such thing as a unified will. A fisherman doesn't want what a banker wants. A student does not need what a family needs. And the young and the old do not fear the same future. When millions of incompatible lives are poured into one large bowl and labeled as the people's voice, the result is not wisdom, it's dilution. And sometimes, very politely, the majority votes to crush the minority it hates. History records these moments very carefully. They always insist they were completely democratic. That is the paradox no system likes to admit. This is not a video about who you should vote for. It is not a command to vote more, less, or differently per se. It is about where influence actually exists. Power does not live where you shout the loudest. It lives where decisions carry consequence. Your own street, your own town, your local institutions. The places where people must look you in the eye and answer. And now, the most dangerous truth of all. Listen carefully. Indifference is never neutral. Every system interprets passivity the same way as quiet consent. If you do not actively resist, the system assumes agreement. If you disengage, it does not pause. It actually stabilizes. And once a system stabilizes around that assumption, changing it suddenly becomes very difficult, sometimes even impossible, without fracture, without collapse, and without force. Remember this. Freedom once surrendered is never handed back politely. It is never returned because you asked nicely. It is reclaimed only when enough weight presses against the structure, when the critical mass is actually met. This is not cynicism, this is pattern recognition. I'm not here to sell you hope or a political movement. I am here to remind you that systems do not respond to intention. They respond to pressure, your participation, and eventually mass. You do not need the majority, you need density. Gravity doesn't negotiate, baby.